So, how in the world did a South Korean thriller, this dark, twisted comedy about class warfare, go on to make Oscar history and just capture the imagination of the entire planet? Let's unpack the story of a film that really did change everything.
This famous quote from director Bong Joon-ho, well, it pretty much became the rallying cry for his film Parasite. It perfectly sets the stage because this was a movie that didn't just ask audiences to read subtitles, it convinced the whole film industry to start looking beyond Hollywood. And to really understand just how big of a deal this was, we have to start right at the climax, the historic night of the 92nd Academy Awards in February 2020. I mean, nobody, and maybe not even the filmmakers themselves, expected what was about to happen. The film didn't just win one award. No, it took home a stunning 4 Oscars, including Best Director for Bong Joon-ho and Best Original Screenplay. And what made the night so electric was that each win felt progressively more and more shocking. You have to understand that before this night, no South Korean film had ever received any Academy Award recognition, not a single nomination. So with these wins, Parasite wasn't just succeeding, it was basically kicking down a door for an entire nation's film industry. And then came the final award of the night, the big one. In the entire 92-year history of the Academy Awards, a film not in the English language had never won Best Picture. So when the words Parasite were announced, it didn't just win an award, it shattered one of the oldest and most stubborn precedents in the history of cinema. So the question is, why this film? What was it about this particular story that managed to break through? Well, it all starts with its brilliant, razor-sharp premise, a tale of 2 very different families. Okay, so on one side, you have the Kims. They're living in this cramped, smelly semi-basement apartment, folding pizza boxes just to make a few bucks. They're unemployed, but they are incredibly street smart. And on the other side, you have the wealthy Parks, living in an architectural masterpiece, completely naive to the world outside their perfect little bubble. This setup immediately creates this incredible tension, and it forces us to ask, who are the real parasites and who are the hosts? So the Kims hatch this ingenious plan. One by one, they infiltrate the Park household, posing as unrelated, highly qualified tutors, drivers, and housekeepers. It's a flawless con that sets in motion a chain of events that is somehow both hilarious and at the same time absolutely terrifying. But you know, the genius of Parasite goes way beyond its plot. The film doesn't just talk about class, it shows it in every single frame. The film's design, its very architecture, is a crucial part of the storytelling. The director himself explained the double meaning of the title. It's not just the poor Kims feeding off the rich Parks. The Parks are completely dependent on the labor of the poor to function, which makes them a different kind of parasite altogether. And to really understand the Kims world, you have to understand the banjiha. This is a real type of housing in Seoul, a semi-basement apartment that's become a symbol of poverty, often prone to things like flooding and mold. It's a world away from the Parks' sunny hilltop mansion. The film is constantly using vertical space. The Kims literally live down, below street level, while the Parks live up on a hill. You see stairs everywhere, and they're this constant visual reminder of characters climbing up or being forced down the social ladder. And then, hidden beneath it all, there's a secret bunker, revealing an even deeper, more desperate level of poverty. And here's a fascinating little detail. The Parks' stunning house wasn't even real. It was a meticulously designed set, custom-built to be the perfect stage for this story. Every window, every corridor was designed specifically for the camera's view, making the house itself a central character in the drama. So, how did this masterfully crafted story become such a global phenomenon? Well, its journey from a film festival favorite to the Oscar champion was this incredible wave of momentum that just kept building for months. It all kicked off in May 2019 at the Cannes Film Festival, where it became the first Korean film ever to win the top prize, the Palme d'Or. From there, it was just a cascade of historic wins, the Screen Actors Guild Award, another first for a non-English film, all leading up to that unbelievable night at the Oscars. And this wasn't just some awards darling. It was a massive commercial hit. I mean, on a budget of just over $11 million, it went on to gross over $258 million worldwide. That's not just a success, that's a global sensation. The critics were pretty much unanimous. We're talking a 99% score on Rotten Tomatoes, 97 out of 100 on Metacritic. Review after review hailed it as a masterpiece. An urgent, brilliantly layered film that was simply in a class of its own. So, what is the lasting legacy of Parasite? It's so much more than just a great movie. It's a film that fundamentally changed the conversation about international cinema. I mean, just look at this list of achievements. At Cannes, at the SAG Awards, and at the Oscars, Parasite didn't just win, it broke down barriers that had stood for decades. Each one of these firsts represents a crack in the ceiling for international filmmakers. It was, to put it simply, unprecedented. But why this matters is that Parasite proved a story rooted in a specific culture could be truly universal. Its themes of class conflict and wealth disparity landed at a time when conversations about inequality were dominating headlines all over the world. People recognized the desperation of the Kims and the obliviousness of the Parks in their own societies.
In his acceptance speech, Bong Joon-ho quoted his hero, Martin Scorsese, with this line: "By telling a deeply personal and specifically Korean story, he created something that resonated with everyone. He proved that great cinema has no borders." The success of Parasite didn't just break a barrier, it blew the door wide open. And it leaves us with an exciting question. Now that the 1-inch barrier of subtitles has been proven to be no barrier at all, what other amazing stories are out there, just waiting to be discovered?